Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode for our C-Suite Dads newsletter. I am thrilled to be talking with Troy Sandidge, who is a marketer extraordinaire. I'll just say it that way. I'll let him do the full introduction to himself. But as always, thank you for watching and being a part of our community. Troy, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, the work you do. We'll start there. Yeah.
So I'm Troy Sandidge. You, I guess, referred to my alter ego, as they would say, as a strategy hacker. But I'm a global B2B marketing strategist. I've been in the marketing space for 12 plus years. I work for startups, SMBs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and various organizations, just help them scale and grow through organic marketing methods.
Troy, it's great to have you on the call today. I'd love to see what we can do to help our dads who are in these business leadership positions really thrive, right? Because if we aren't getting our message out there, then we're not getting the funding to come in. And if we don't have the funding, then we don't have the business, right? So
Exactly.
what are 2 or 3 strategy hacks, as you put it, that dads can be utilizing? Yeah.
Definitely one, I'll give you two, and it's form of an acronym, so y'all could take this and rock with it. Well, first is the DART marketing methodology. So when you're trying to be effective in marketing for your business, you need to be direct, authentic, resourceful, and tactical. And I like to apply that because many times if you're on a budget or, kids are expensive and, just the act of the beast, you have to understand that there's still ways for you to be successful. And a lot of that's being resourceful and tactical, but also being direct. I think sometimes we tend to not be as upfront as we need to be about where we are in the situation that we're in, how much money or what our goals are, be clear about it and how do we get there, and ask for help. So being direct and clear about your messaging, what the expectations are, as well as being resourceful, leaning in on your community. Yes, you are leaning in on your community, and then be tactical. There's ways around it. You can barter, you can find other loopholes, get grants, other ways to help fund and invest in things you need to do to hopefully get to where you want to be. And the second thing I would say is on Clover. So that's clarity, leverage, optimization, vision, and value, execution, and results. The biggest thing is many times people, when they're trying to grow their business or they're trying to make some shifts, they're stuck in awareness mode. I'm doing all this effort, y'all. I'm posting on social media, and they're just in an awareness circle, but they're not converting because they're not thinking in that way. We think we're being overly aggressive. We think, we have to show a sense of directness and go for what we want in a very tactical manner. And so applying Clover, having clarity around what you want, what you need, leveraging your whole community, everything you have at your disposal, but also, and most importantly, leveraging your time, optimizing that. What worked yesterday, what worked last year, pre-COVID, may not work right now. So we have to adjust according, but keep that vision of why am I doing this for? Like, we don't want to get so mundane and just the processes and stuff that we forget. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for next level of growth and having that vision coming to pass. But then we got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. It's just a grind. You got to put the work in, and we have to make sure that we get those results.
Awesome. That's a great reminder, especially for me as we continue to grow fathering together as well, that a lot of stuff is slow building and then it goes fast and then it's slow and then it goes fast. And so I love that optimization piece and just being flexible to remember that if you're going 1,000 miles a minute every minute of the day, you're going to burn yourself out and get exhausted. But you need to be prepared for those bursts of energy too. So appreciate that acronym. Since we're all dads on this newsletter and channel, what are some things that your dad, and if he did, I should clarify, what did he inspire in you, or what did he teach you to bring you to be the business leader that you are?
I think one of the biggest things I can attribute directly to my father is just the mentality it takes when you're dealing with obstacles. Look, you already had the deck stacked against you from the moment you were born. That's not going to change. You can either sit in it or you can be successful despite of it. And it's just having that mentality of still giving me enough positivity, but also holding me accountable and not coddling me either. And being truthful about the reality of what's going on, but being there every step of the way to keep me going. And I think sometimes, as fathers, you have to find that balance where we want to be overprotective, but they can't learn anything if they can't be encouraged to face the obstacle. We can't save them. They can't grow. You can't grow without friction. And
Mhm.
friction happens all throughout life. And so I think that's one of the biggest things I think I can attribute to my dad. It's just that mentality of, despite this is very obvious. We're going to figure out a way to get to where we want to go anyway.
Mm, mm. I love that. Yes, it's a great reminder. Just that in building muscle too, right? Like our muscles tear before they get stronger. We have to break them a little bit so that we grow. And so to allow our children to have some falls, not necessarily down a flight of stairs, but maybe trip on a, on the sidewalk every so often in life and in business is critical. So that's awesome. Yeah, yeah. What would you say has pushed you to grow this endeavor in the marketing space? Like, has your dad been there recently to help you, or were those lessons kind of in the past? Like, where was that formation?
You know, for someone who, I'm a former electrical engineer who went over to digital media and marketing, and my family, my dad's a blue collar guy. He's hopefully retiring this year, but in the U.S. steel mill for 30 plus years. And I give him credit because I entered a space he was not aware of.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, is there money in that? Can you take care of a family with that? Can you take care of your wife with that? I don't understand. And it's not that he didn't trust me or encourage, but it was something he just didn't understand. He wanted to be protected. And so it took some time for me to find my own bearings, because now I'm a daddy's boy. I'm at the hip, right? And that transition of, oh my goodness, he doesn't understand. He doesn't not believe in me, but just believe in the situation. And for me to still pursue it and be successful in it. And now over the years, he's gotten so much understanding that now he's like one of my biggest fans, if not my biggest fan. He watches all the video content, all the live streams, all the articles, and and multiple times where it's like he recites things like, you know more about me than I do. So it's definitely a situation where we needed that for us both to develop equally in our own merits of what we're trying to do. But I think it brought us a lot closer. And how I tie that into what I do now is that, I have the support of him 100%. And that just drives me even more.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you had that relationship. I think that's something that I've had with my own dad, and as he was a carpenter and entrepreneur as when I was very little, when I ventured out into fathering together and building this coalition, a lot of the same questions came up for him. Was, is this safe? Is this real? An endeavor you need to be doing for your sake of your family? Because ultimately, fatherhood is not about us. It's about what we have for our families. And it's great that you're proving him wrong, so to speak, but also showcasing the great talents that you have for this space in many respects. And same goes with my dad. So really, really resonate with a lot of what you shared in that story. So appreciate that very much, Troy. What's the best way, if dads are watching this and want to get more information about you, what's the best way that they can connect for you?
You can reach out. You can find me everywhere at Find Troy on all social media platforms. If you also go to growwithtroy.com, all my links, everything about me is neatly categorized for your enjoyment. And lastly, if you love the conversation, I go mega deep on conversations like this at idigress.fm, which is my podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Troy. Thank you all for joining us for another weekly installment of this series, and we will see you around in our communications. Bye, everybody.